Hello there you guys, welcome to another one of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current and latest news. So if you do consider drop your likes, and if you do consider subscribe to the channel as always. So as I do keep saying, we know that Manchester United, we know that investment is needed to Manchester United this summer of course as well. And obviously already Manchester United have obviously identified quite a few targets to be honest with you as well. But what players do you think Manchester United should sign this summer to get us back being a competitive elite level of football club of course as well, because we know definitely investment is needed into Manchester United this summer. It's looking like that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will have his current say on our current transfer plans in the summer, because obviously he's been regularly speaking with Ed Woodward as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, of what players should stay and all that, and what players should depart in the summer of course as well. So Solskjaer's been in regular contact with the Manchester United board of course as well. We know that players are going to leave Manchester United this summer as well. There is still some contract renewals of course to sort out as well, but reportedly we're going to get around £200 million to spend this summer of course as well. And obviously we've got a board that can invest who Solskjaer wants to recommend to Manchester United this summer. And obviously I think he told the Manchester United board he wants around 4 signings this summer, does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer of course as well. But I think his main priority is to actually get a right winner to Manchester United this summer as well. So I think he's focusing on more attacking additions to the squad is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Recent reports did suggest out he was given £80 million to go out and buy a defender, but reports did recently say he wasn't interested in buying any defenders because he wants to give our current defenders a chance to impress and prove themselves of course as well. And of course we're still looking to hire a director of footballer to come in as well. But I think Solskjaer will end up getting the Manchester United job on a full-time basis. It hasn't been officially announced as yet of course as well, because obviously we know Manchester United is still looking at the possibility of Pochettino and all that as well. So we are still possibly looking at Mauricio Pochettino and Ed Woodward. Still may want Pochettino to come as Manchester United manager of course. And as I did say, he's obviously got more managerial experience than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer of course as well. But in terms of winning any major honours, he hasn't got a great pedigree. Mauricio Pochettino, he hasn't won out in terms of silverware and all that as well. He's well Premier League proven of course, as I currently said. This is his 5th season now with Tottenham of course. He spent about £254 million since he got recommended into Tottenham back in 2014 as well. His record at Tottenham's very very good because he's won over 100 odd games with Tottenham as well. And obviously he was record was very very good when he was at Southampton of course as well. But for me, I don't think he'd be the right man for Manchester United. Of course we'd have to pay a compensation of at least around £35-40 million to recommend him in anywhere. But I don't think he's any intentions of leaving Tottenham. He's happy at Tottenham. He feels settled with Tottenham. Obviously Tottenham need investment this summer of course as well. But obviously I don't think he'll leave Tottenham because they're still waiting for the new stadium. Of course Daniel Levy will not let Mauricio Pochettino go anywhere, and he's done a really really good job with Tottenham. He's progressed them to the Champions League quarterfinals this season, got them to last 16 last season, got them to 2nd place finishes, 3rd place finishes and all that as well. But obviously Pochettino hasn't proven himself in terms of winning any silverware of course. And the difference between Solskjaer and Mauricio Pochettino is obviously Solskjaer obviously knows Manchester United inside out of course as well. Pochettino doesn't know the club of course as well, and obviously he signed a 5-year deal with Tottenham last summer as well, did Pochettino. And obviously Solskjaer's a much cheaper alternative as well, as we all know, because it'll only cost us around £7-8 million to give Solskjaer the job on a full-time basis of course, because obviously we've paid £1.8 million of course to get him on a temporary basis at the moment as well. But his progressions he's done really really well as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. I know he suffered back-to-back defeats and all that, but I definitely I definitely think that Manchester United, are going to bounce back after the international break, hopefully as well. We've done very, very well. Of course, considering the amount of injuries Manchester United have had, we know players are coming back from injury now, and obviously, considering that we didn't invest in the January transfer window, so obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he only joined in December, so he's had 3 fantastic months so far as Manchester United interim boss. And I think, if Manchester United do give Solskjaer the job on a full-time basis, he's planning for a long tenure as manager, because obviously, so far in his managerial career, he hasn't really had a long tenure, has he? He had 2 separate spells with Mould. He only had a short tenure with Cardiff. He managed the Manchester United reserve team for a couple of years as well. And he watched his team now at this day and age, growing develop as well. Did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But he's the right man for Manchester United, of course. He knows the club inside out. Obviously, from being a great player for 11 years under Alex Ferguson as well. He was a great player. He played around great players as well, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And he's getting the best out of this team. And I do think, he's got this team playing with tenacity and the spirit levels high high as well, and every individual on that pitch, you know, wants to play under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. He's a good tactician. It's good to see, you know, that the young players, you know, gain his trust as well. But he did say he was going to give everybody the chance, to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, regardless of the injuries and all that. He was going to give the young players the chance, you know, the fringe players the chance and all that as well. So everyone's had the opportunity, you know, to perform as well. And the team have played really, really well indeed, as we are. Know that players are going to leave Manchester United this summer. Reports have been coming out today saying that Solskjaer does want to sell 3 players this summer. Reportedly has basically told Ed Woodward that he wants basically Ed Woodward, you know, to get rid of, you know, Valencia, Marcus Rojo, and Alexis Sanchez. So Solskjaer has basically said to Ed Woodward, you know, Solskjaer has basically said to Ed Woodward, you know, he's told Ed Woodward the 3 players, you know, that Solskjaer, you know, wants to be sold in the summer. So Solskjaer's basically said to Ed Woodward, you know, the 3 players he wants to be sold this summer is obviously, you know, Rojo, Valencia, and Alexis Sanchez, of course, as well. But there could be still other departures as well, because Valencia's on his way out of Manchester United. He's going to leave this summer. He's 33 years of age now, you know, don't forget. And obviously he's got a calf injury now, and obviously he's been here, 10 years now. This is 10th season at Manchester United. You know, he has made over 300 appearances in all competitions as well. But as we all know, Manchester United opted against that decision, you know, to give Valencia that new 1-year contract of course, as well. So he's definitely leaving Manchester United this summer as well. Marcus Rojo, again, has enjoyed a very, very difficult time at Manchester United, of course, as well. And I think we'll sanction him off, you know, to be quite honest, you know, maybe to, you know, get a replacement for him in that centre-back position, of course, as well, because Rojo has enjoyed a very, very difficult time at Manchester United. Of course, he's been here quite a few years now, but, you know, he's suffered a string of injuries as Marcus Rojo, and this is, you know, struggled, you know, for him, you know, to get game time in the Manchester United team, of course. He is good there as a backup option, but, you know, definitely on his way out of Manchester United is Marcus Rojo. I think Darmian's on his way out of Manchester United as well. You know, he's enjoyed a very, very difficult time as a Manchester United player, as well as Matteo Darmian, you know, being in and out of the team, as we all know. And obviously spent the majority of his playing career, you know, mainly in Italy, you know, before he came to Manchester United, of course, as well. Just paid over, £12 million for him from Torino, of course, as well. But he could possibly leave in the summer as well. Sanchez definitely on his way out of Manchester United as well. Sanchez has been very, very, very inconsistent as a Manchester United player, of course. You know, he's been here just over a year, as we all know as well. He's suffered He's suffered a string of injuries. As Sanchez, I think this is his 3rd injury now he's suffered. He's obviously got a knee injury now, as Alexis Sanchez, of course, as well. But when he has been given the opportunity, Alexis Sanchez has been very disappointing. When he has been given the opportunity, you know, he's looked very, very restricted, of course. You know, he just looks as though he hasn't been settling in the team, and he just looked restricted, and it just looks as though that he hadn't been getting that freedom, you know, Sanchez on the left-hand side, you know, when he was playing, of course, as well. It's obviously, you know, going to be hard to find a buyer for Sanchez this summer, of course, you know, considering his substantial wages he currently receives as well, because his wages are in the excess of over £500,000 a week, of course, as well. So obviously he's the highest paid player as well in the Premier League, and he's been here just over a year, of course, as well as Sanchez, but definitely on his way out of Manchester United, of course. He's 30 years of age. He's nowhere near the player he was at Arsenal, of course, and, you know, he hasn't lived up to expectation levels at Manchester United, of course, as well. So he's definitely on his way out. You know, Man United may consider loaning him out this summer, because obviously, as I said, it's going to be hard to find a buyer, unless, you know, we come to an agreement, or Sanchez, you know, accepts a wage cut, you know, to be quite honest with you, as well. But Solskjaer did mention him, you know, basically Solskjaer's been negotiating with Ed Woodward, already making plans for the summer, of course, as well, because obviously, you know, we're near the end of the season now, and obviously we know we want to recommend, you know, the right players to come to Manchester United in the summer as well. And obviously Solskjaer does want to buy into our history, of course, as well. But definitely, you know, players are going to leave this summer as well. But as I did currently say, you know, Solskjaer basically said to Ed Woodward, you know, he wants Ed Woodward, you know, to get rid of Valencia. That's 1. Rojo, that's 2. And Sanchez, that's 3. So that's 3 players' names that's got mentioned. So Solskjaer wants to sell 3 players. You know, he's basically said this to Ed Woodward, of course, as well. And Solskjaer knows these 3 players, you know, he wants to sell, as I just said, you know, Valencia, Rojo, and Alexis Sanchez, of course, as well. And as they have been updating you on the transfer rumours that have been currently going on. So the main part of this video is, you know, what signings, you know, should Manchester United, you know, make this summer? Because obviously last summer, you know, we had the disappointing transfer window. You know, obviously when we had Mourinho, we wasn't getting the play. You know, Mourinho wasn't getting the signings, you know, who we wanted to, you know, bring to Manchester United, of course, as well. And obviously, you know, he had bad disputes with the board. You know, he had bad disputes with the players as well. Today, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and obviously he was desperate to get a centre back in last summer as well. You know, Jose Mourinho. But but in the process, Manchester United, of course, failed. And last summer, we only ended up getting Diego Dalot, Lee Grant second choice keeper, and Fred, last summer as well, £52 million. And we know we've got strong reservations about Fred. We know, really hasn't been getting enough game time, but when he has been given the opportunity, he's really failed to make an impact as Fred, to quite honestly. So I don't know if he's a long-term solution, to be quite honest with you. And obviously, back in January, where we didn't invest as well. So it is essential that Manchester United, spend some money in this summer window. As I said, reportedly we're going to get around £200 million to spend, of course, as well. Obviously, we saw Fellaini, leave back in the January transfer window as well, as I already updated you on. And I think Solskjaer is keen on actually, bringing an attacking midfielder to Manchester United. Of course, he obviously wants a right winger. I think he's interested in bringing a right back in as well as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But I think his priority is to get a right winger to Manchester United this summer, of course, as well. But who do you think the right signings should be for Manchester United this summer as well? And obviously we've got the financial power to meet the valuation of players that are going to be expensive and all that. And I think number one signing will be Jadon Sancho for Manchester United. He's my number one. He'd be a great signing for Manchester United, without a shadow of a doubt. And we do know he'll cost us in the excess of around £100 million. Manchester United believe that we can actually land him for a fee of around £80 million. But I think Borussia Dortmund, that this still may not convince Borussia Dortmund, to offload him. Manchester United may have to offer in the excess of £100 million to convince, Jadon Sancho, to leave Borussia Dortmund, of course. And obviously, there's been a narrative going about, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, of course, as well. And I'm going to tell you now on this video, it's going to be a little special, and what players, I think we should sign. And, even though if we're still linked to him or not, I'm going to tell you what players we should sign and what players, we shouldn't, got as well. So definitely Jadon Sancho is my top one. We should definitely sign Jadon Sancho, to Corners here. Good physical attributes, shows that ability to attack. Plus very young as well. So, he has got a lot of years ahead of him, of course, as well. And as I did say, it would be ideal for us to recommend some young players coming in the summer, that could grow, develop and mould, of course, as well. And Jadon Sancho, he's fitted in the Borussia Dortmund team very well. He's good on the ball. He reads the game well. He can get them runs in behind as well. And he's good on that flank, is Jadon Sancho, of course, as well. And if we were to come to an agreement to get him in the summer, he would basically, make him the most expensive English footballer ever. He has still got a contract with Borussia Dortmund till 2022, as well as Jadon Sancho. But Manchester United being heavily linked to him, he's attracted interest, from quite a few teams across Europe as well. And obviously, he's had experience, of playing in English football. He did serve a couple of years with Manchester City. He never broke into the first team with Manchester City. This is the majority of the reason he departed City and went to Borussia Dortmund. But at that moment in time, a couple of years back, Manchester United, were linked with Sancho then as well, and he actually began his youth career with Watford as well. But obviously, as we all know, he is English as well, which is beneficial. So he does know about English football anywhere. But obviously, he only broke into the England first team last year, and he's only 18 years of age. Is Jadon Sancho, of course, as well. But a few teams have been interested in him, of course, and we do know that Borussia Dortmund have been known, for doing business with their players, of course. But I think Solskjaer is keen on getting, Jadon Sancho to the club, because I think he'd bring that extra attacking flair. I think he could provide. He'd provide. He'd provide good pace out wide. I think he could provide as well. To create goals and create chances and all that. And I think Jadon Sancho would be the perfect candidate. And I think he's the solution to Manchester United's problems, of course, as well. So I think he complement our attacking line, very well indeed with Jadon Sancho. So he's my number one that Manchester United, should definitely go for in the summer. And we are willing to pay. I think we are actually willing to pay £100 million, as reports did say quite a while back. But I think we're still confident we can land him for a fee of around £80 million. This could convince Borussia Dortmund to offload him, and financially they're going to make a huge profit on him, because they only paid £8 million for him from Manchester City a couple of years ago as well. And we do know other players, that have, been mentioned in the media as well. And my number two is, this is going to be a hard one to think. My number two is, we'll go to the defence later on. My number two is Manchester United, should sign Griezmann in the summer as well, without a shadow of a doubt. Now reports have been coming out from Spain, as we all know, in the last couple of days now, saying that Manchester United are reportedly the favourites to sign Griezmann this summer, reportedly. And obviously we know a couple of years back, we were heavily linked to Griezmann. He was our number one target then of course, as well. And it was looking likely Griezmann was going to come to Manchester United and all this, and it was so looking likely. Obviously, we knew he was going to cost us quite a bit of money, to be quite honest here. But I think Griezmann made it clear that he wanted to make the move to Old Trafford, of course, as well. But obviously, this didn't happen in the process because obviously Atletico Madrid had suffered the transfer ban at this time, and this is what stopped Manchester United, getting the pursuit of Griezmann as well. Because obviously, Atletico Madrid then stood firm and they were being ruthless. They didn't want to lose Griezmann because obviously, they couldn't find a replacement for him as well. But Griezmann is one of the most prolific forwards in world football, and of course, and he's playing to his potential best, of course. But I think now Griezmann is increasingly, becoming frustrated, with time in Spain and Atletico Madrid, of course, because he's only won a couple of trophies, at Atletico Madrid, to kind of say. And obviously, a player of his calibre, and he does play. He wants to play to that highest level as well. Does Griezmann? He wants to be up there challenging for trophies, and winning major honours as well. And he hasn't really experienced this, at Atletico Madrid. He's only won the Europa League with Atletico Madrid. He's won the Super Cup and that, with Atletico Madrid. But he has spent the entirety of his playing career, in Spain as well. As Antoine Griezmann. I think this is his 5th season now, is it, with Atletico Madrid? Is Griezmann's as well, and he actually began his career with Real Sociedad as well. Did Griezmann? Obviously, last summer it was looking likely, he was going to join Barcelona because obviously Barcelona are better than Atletico Madrid. Obviously, their challenge for major honours and that, and they usually win major honours. So you thought in that aspect, Griezmann would have probably gone, to Barcelona. But I think he actually remained loyal to Atletico Madrid, and he ended up signing a new deal, with Atletico Madrid. He signed a new 5-year deal last summer, so he is officially under contract with Atletico Madrid till 2023, of course, as well. But now this has happened, Barcelona have reportedly culled their interest in Griezmann. Reports do say that Manchester United are now the favourites. It's also said that Bayern Munich have been interested. It also said that PSG have been interested in Griezmann as well. But as I did say, his release clause is around the £171 million in his Atletico Madrid contract, as we all know as well. But some media outlets have been coming out and mentioning, saying that reportedly his release clause this summer will reduce by almost, or I think it's £70 million or something like that. So I think his release clause will be about £100 million this summer, or £101 million or £102 million or something like that. So it's obviously more likely now he will leave Atletico Madrid this summer as well. So he's definitely my number 2 in terms of an attacking addition and attacking options. He's my number 2. Is Antoine Griezmann, of course, well, because he'll bring that extra firepower to Manchester United. He'll guarantee his goals and all that as well. And and I think he'll fit into the team fantastically well. Because obviously at one point, we wanted him to fulfil that number 7 shirt, a couple of years ago. Because obviously at that time, Man United were in the search for a number 7. Because obviously, we had a number 7 vacant, of course, as well. And we have had pretty decent, good number 7s over the years. I've spoke about. Obviously, the best was obviously, Ronaldo. Depay wasn't, very that consistent at Manchester United, of course, as well. We've had a few number 7s, as I currently said. One Cantona, number 7 as well. So we've had a few number 7s over the years, and I do think Sanchez will initially lose that number 7 shirt anyway. And I think he'll either get vacant or someone else could actually fulfill that number 7 spot. To Granit, and it would be beneficial for Griezmann to come in. Considering that he knows Paul Pogba very, very well. He's got a great friendship with Pogba because obviously they're both French as well. Obviously Anthony Martial's French at Manchester United, of course, as well. So Griezmann, would be my number 2, to be quite honest with you as well. And as I have been updating you guys as well in relation to Gareth Bale, and he's a player I definitely don't want Manchester United, to sign this summer as well. Gareth Bale. I know there's been rumours going on about, there's been rumours going on about it for years, that Gareth Bale, has been linked to a move to Manchester United, of course, as well. We've been hearing the rumours for the past at least 5 or 6 years now, or something like that. But in the process, it's never, happened. Gareth Bale, coming to Manchester United, and there has been a lot of talks, about, Gareth Bale, coming back to the Premier League, of course, as well. My opinion, I wouldn't want Bale, at Manchester United, as I do keep saying, he's aging up now, he's got a record of injuries, as we all know, he's injury prone, as well as Gareth Bale. If you'd have asked me maybe a year or 2 or 3 years ago, then I would have bitten your hand off, and I'd have said yes, Bale to Manchester United any day of the week, of course, as well. And we still know his ratio is very, very good. Obviously, in all his silverware, he has won, as obviously, become as a Real Madrid player, because obviously now this is his 6th season now in the process with Real Madrid. Of course, if Bale did have the opportunity to come back to the Premier League, I think he would come back to the Premier League as well, because obviously, he served 6 good years with Tottenham and all that, as I said. He began his career here with Southampton, so he obviously is well Premier League proven as well, Gareth Bale, of course, as well. But reports have been coming out, Solskjaer is not really spoken about, Bale being linked to a move to Old Trafford and all that. Obviously, he isn't our priority, is Gareth Bale, of course, as well. But obviously, Real Madrid won't recoup the initial 85 million, they paid for him from Tottenham, back in 2013, of course. Well, they could still maybe get 60 million pounds for Bale, of course, as well. But I don't want Manchester United, to sign Bale this summer, as well. To be quite honest with you, yeah, maybe some people are saying, we could actually, end up with Gareth Bale, to be quite honest with you. But I don't want him at Manchester United. We do know Real Madrid don't want him, of course. We do know the rumours have been going on for a while. I don't think Florentino Perez wants him now. I think Florentino Perez, wants him out of the club. Zinedine Zidane, obviously, now he's been reappointed, will want him out of the club, because Zinedine Zidane and Gareth Bale, of course, don't have a good relationship as well. But Bale is still on the contract with Madrid till 2022, and obviously all his silver he has won and achieved, he's obviously, become Real Madrid as well. So I don't want Manchester United to sign Gareth Bale, to quite honestly, and that would be a mistake. He is on the decline, he's Gareth Bale, he's injury prone. He don't mind if he's a good goal scorer and his ratio's good or all. Real Madrid do not want him anymore, of course, as well. So I don't want Gareth Bale at Manchester United, and I'm just making it basically, clear. I'm just making it clear, to be quite honest with you, as well. So I don't want him at Manchester United, to be quite honest with you. We do know there's been reports as well, coming out about Philippe Coutinho, as we all currently know, as well. And we still know that the narrative still going on, about Coutinho, being linked with a move to Old Trafford, and all this, as well. Coutinho, I probably wouldn't want him at Manchester United, to be quite honest with you, even though he's Premier League proven, because, he did have 5 good years, when he played for Liverpool, of course, as well. Now reports are coming out from the media saying that Barcelona are set to lower their asking price, for Coutinho, and reportedly they're willing to discuss in the excess of around £68 million or something like that as well, because it's plainly obvious, Barcelona are not going to recoup the initial £142 million paid for him from Liverpool in January of last year, of course, as well. They could still maybe get 60, 70 million pounds for him or something like that as well, but he has failed to make an impact at Barcelona as Coutinho, and he struggled to fit under their system, of course, as well. He struggled for game time and all that as well as Coutinho, and there has been so many rumours going on, that he has been linked with a move to Old Trafford. There's speculation of him possibly leaving Barcelona back in the January transfer window as well. And I think Solskjaer is actually keen on getting an attacking midfielder, to Manchester United, of course, as well. But I don't want Coutinho Manchester United, of course, as well. He's mainly an attacking mid, but he can actually, play as a winger as well, can Philippe Coutinho. So I don't want Coutinho at Manchester United, to be quite honest. I still think he's got a long contract with Barcelona, to be quite honest. He's got a long contract with Barcelona, and he's been at Barcelona just over a year, but, he's failed to live to expectation levels, and he is the third most expensive player in world football, behind Neymar and Mbappe and all that as well. He's Philippe Coutinho, so potentially I don't want Manchester United, to go in for Philippe Coutinho, and he's not a priority anywhere, and I don't think Manchester United, are keen on, signing him. He's 26, and he's still got a lot of years ahead of him, of course, but, I wouldn't want him at Manchester United. He had 5 good years at Liverpool, but he's been very, very disappointing for Barcelona, of course, as well. And reports have been saying, Man United back in January had negotiations with his representatives. Reports come out the other week, couple of weeks back, saying that, he spoke to some Manchester United players, Coutinho, regarding the move to Old Trafford, as well. So, yeah, there's still rumours going on about that, as well. And yes, I wouldn't want him to come. My number 3, who I would, like Manchester United to sign, I definitely would like Manchester United, to go on and sign Koulibaly this summer as well. Because obviously, we've been linked to Koulibaly, for the past couple of windows, as we all know as well. But I'm not too convinced now that Manchester United, will come to an agreement to get him this summer, because I think Koulibaly remains happy at Napoli. He's fully committed to Napoli, as he did admit a while back, that he was happy that he was attracting interest, and that teams were following him and all this. But to be quite honest with you, I think he's very, very happy with Napoli, to be quite honest with you, his Koulibaly. And if he was to come for sale, it probably would maybe take a bid in the excess of around 90 or 100 million pounds or something like that to maybe convince Napoli to sanction him off. But I don't think Napoli are bothered about the money. I think Napoli, know how much of an essential player Koulibaly is to Napoli, of course, as well. Because in the process back in January, Manchester United, had 3 bids turned down. The recent one was £95 million, of course. as well. Love Koulibaly at Manchester United because he'd address our defensive deficiencies, as we all know. Obviously, would make him the most expensive defender in world football as well. And he's still got a contract, with Napoli till 2023, of course, as well. And he has been at Napoli a number of years now, of course, as well. And he would be fantastic, putting Koulibaly alongside Lindelof, would look fantastic indeed, because they complement each other, very, very well. And we need an experienced and world-class centre-back, of course, as well. But to quite honest with you, I don't see Manchester United getting Koulibaly this summer, and I don't even think he'll be for sale this summer, to be quite honest, because Napoli stood firm in January, and the Napoli president did confirm they weren't willing to offload him back in the January transfer window as well, the Senegal international. But we've actually identified him as our number one target, to be quite honest with you as well. But I don't see Manchester United, getting him this summer. I think it's unlikely. So we've obviously got other alterations, we're going to look at as well. But we definitely need a centre-back this summer, of course, as well. And, that's number 3 anyway. And I'd love Rafael Varane, to come to Manchester United as well, to kind of. And I know we've been, linked with Rafael Varane, in the past as well. And Rafael Varane is a very, very good, consistent player, as we all know as well. He's only 25 years of age. Rafael Varane has got a lot of years ahead of him, to be quite honest with you as well. And he is still in his peak years as Rafael Varane. And he's only age 25. And look how much he's achieved, during his time, in Spain, with Real Madrid, of course, as well. He's been at Real Madrid about 8 seasons now as Rafael Varane. I think he must have won about 15, 16 honours, with Real Madrid as a player, as Rafael Varane. And that is an absolutely very, very good pedigree, for a player that's only 25 years of age. And he's still got a lot of years ahead of him to come. There's still a lot of years ahead of him now. So I think he's, he's capable as a player, to be winning more silverware as well. He's Rafael Varane, of course, as well. But this is 8th season now in the process for Real Madrid. He has made Real Madrid, and he has made over 200 odd appearances in all competitions as well. And he's been linked with Manchester United before. Manchester United have showed an interest in him, and he'd be a great, great defender as well. He's experienced, he's absolutely world class, of course, and he'd look very, very good alongside Lindelof because he's good in the air. He's good on the ball. He's distinctive in his play. There's areas of his game he adapts fantastically well. He's good at intercepting. He shows, that he's willing to play out from the back, and he reads the game fantastically well as well. So Rafael Varane, would be incredible indeed. Again, he probably would cost staggering amounts of money, but I really, really do like Rafael Varane, to quite honest. Reports have been coming out saying that Real Madrid, could consider, I think, Rafael Varane, may consider, leaving Real Madrid this summer as well. So, Manchester United, may even go for Rafael Varane this summer as well. But we definitely need a defender, without a shadow of a doubt, indeed. Rafael Varane, for the most of his playing career, he's been in Spain. He had began his career with Lens, where he risen up the youth system, and then back in 2010-11 season, was it? He had the season in the senior team, but he only spent 1 season in the senior team in France with Lens, and then obviously, made the move to Real Madrid as well. And he's French, and obviously, was very, very good in the World Cup as well, Rafael Varane, but he's a really, really good player indeed. So he'd be, he'd definitely, be my number 3, with Rafael Varane. He hasn't been a priority, but I'd love him to come to Manchester United. Of course, as well. And who else? Costas Manolas has been mentioned as well. I probably wouldn't want him at Manchester United, to be quite honest with you as well. So I won't count him. But we know that Manchester United have showed an interest in Costas Manolas as well. That Roma centre-back, I've been giving you an update on as well. And he is 27 years of age. Of course, he is Greek as well. But Costas Manolas is nowhere near on the same levels as the likes of the Rafael Varanes or the Koulibalys, the Diego Gordons, the Sergio Ramoses. He's nowhere near on the same calibre or level as them. Costas Manolas as well. But reports have been coming out saying that Manchester United and Arsenal are reportedly interested in him, and it reportedly said that Manchester United and Arsenal could land, Costas Manolas in the summer, for the price fiddler if Roma fail to get into the Champions League for next season, of course. So reports have been coming out from Italy suggesting saying that in the last couple of days, reportedly, Costas Manolas will be allowed to leave Roma this summer, if they fail to get in the top 4, and obviously, fail to get in the Champions League next season, of course, as well. And Costas Manolas, he's been at Roma a number of years now. I think he's made about 200 appearances in all competitions. I think this is his 5th season now with Roma. Obviously, he's an ex-Olympiacos player player. He's an ex-Athens player as well, and he is tall as well, you know, which is very, very beneficial. But I think he's got a release clause in his contract with Roma, and his release clause is reportedly around £31 million or something like that as well. So there has been a lot of talks, you know, about that going on in the media. I think from Roma's perspective, they'd want to actually, you know, remove this release clause. So, you know, in terms of like, you know, they can invest a bit more money, you know, if they remove that release clause in his contract as well. But he's also been mentioned in the media as well as Kostas Manolas, but wouldn't want him at Manchester United, of course, as well. And we do know there's been talks about Toby Alderweireld, you know, going on as well in the media, as we all know as well. Again, I do really like Toby Alderweireld, and if you'd have asked me maybe a year or maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I'd have definitely, you know, took Toby Alderweireld at Manchester United. But again, aging up is Toby Alderweireld, you know, just really of £26 million, of course, as well. And obviously, you know, Manchester United, were linked with him last summer, of course. Obviously, reports were coming out a couple of days ago, guys, as we all currently know as well, in relation to Toby Alderweireld, saying that reportedly Tottenham are resigned to losing Toby Alderweireld this summer, you know, based on his refusal to renew his contract with Tottenham as well. And he's well proven in the Premier League, and I still think he'd be a good league Toby this summer, of course, as well, even though we do know he's going to be available, you know, for a reasonable fee, of course, as well. And, yeah, so there's been quite a few transfer targets, you know, Manchester United, you know, of course, have showed an interest in as well. But my number one would definitely, you know, be Jadon Sancho, you know, he'd be a massive improvement in our team. He'd be a great addition to definitely, you know, be Jadon Sancho, you know, he'd be a massive improvement in our team. He'd be a great addition to the team, you know, if he was to come in the summer as well. And as we all do currently now, as I did say, you know, players are going to leave. Solskjaer's said basically, you know, to Ed Woodward, you know, the players he wants sold in the summer. And obviously, you know, Solskjaer's basically said to Ed Woodward, he wants, you know, Ed Woodward to get rid of Valencia, Rojo, and Alexis Sanchez, of course, as well. And, yeah, so basically that's mainly, you know, the transfer rumours, you know, to mainly, you know, keep you up to date on as well. So there's quite a lot, you know, targets, you know, that Manchester United on as well. So there's quite a lot, you know, targets, you know, that Manchester United have been interested in, of course, as well as they have been keeping you up to date on as well. Anymore, I think that's about it, you know, to be quite honest with you as well. And yeah, so I think Solskjaer, you know, is going to get the Manchester United job on a full-time basis, you know. As I said, you know, he knows the club inside out, being a great player for 11 years and all that. Hasn't got a great managerial pedigree at the moment in terms of like winning any major honours, but we got to get the right players this summer, you know, if we are going to be a competitive elite level football club again, as I said. So hopefully, you know, we'll see what happens in the new season as well, as I said. But essential that we get a Champions League for next season, of course, because in that aspect it will make us have a more competitive summer transfer window, of course, as well. Only chance of silverware is Manchester United winning the Champions League this season, of course, as well. And yeah, we'll see what happens in that aspect as well. But yeah, Manchester United heavily linked with Jadon Sancho, but he could take a bid in the excess of £100 million, you know, for Manchester United, you know, to land the wonder kid as well. So for me, the players Manchester United should sign is Jadon Sancho this summer. Probably try and sign Koulibaly if there's any chance, you know, we can. All that'd be, you know, number 2. Maybe try and even going for Rafael Varane, maybe. You know, there's quite a few players I'd love at Manchester United, you know, to be quite honest with you. I don't want Bale at Manchester United, of course, as well. You know, Solskjaer saying I think he wants an attacking midfielder to come in, of course, as well. I probably wouldn't want Coutinho, so he's a player I wouldn't want as well. But I'd love Icardi at Manchester United as well. He's another player I forgot to mention. I'd love Icardi at Manchester United. He's a great prolific goal scorer. You know, he's been in Italy a number of years now with Inter Milan, of course, as well. And you know, he scores loads and loads of goals, and I'd love him, you know, to come to Manchester United this summer as well. He has been potentially a Manchester United target, not a priority, but you know, Man United have showed an interest in Icardi as well. So I'd love him at Manchester United, you know, to be quite honest with you, as well. And we do know, you know, as I updated you earlier on, you know, in the relation to Paul Pogba, you know, what's been going on about Paul Pogba, of course, as well, reportedly saying that, you know, he's speaking about, you know, Real Madrid and all this, you know, he was dreaming about playing for Real Madrid, you know, and, you know, playing under Zinedine Zidane and all that, you know. He says Real Madrid are a dream club, you know, did Paul Pogba, but he does insist he's happy at Manchester United, of course, he's Paul Pogba as well. He's happy at Manchester United, but, you know, he doesn't know where his future holds, you know, to honest with you. But at the meantime, he's happy at Manchester United, even though he does admit, playing for Zinedine Zidane at Real Madrid, would be a dream. And this is what, Paul Pogba currently said as well. But we do know we've seen the best of Paul Pogba in this 3 months since Solskjaer's come in, and obviously he's been one of our most influential players, of course, as well. And, obviously, if we'd still had Mourinho, he would have been gone by now, in my opinion, because obviously when Mourinho was here, there was speculation of him, going back to Juventus, there was speculation of him going to Barcelona as well. And obviously he's a player that obviously, wants to be up there, challenging for major honours and all that. And I think that would be Paul Pogba's ambitions, to be quite honest here. But I think now we've got Solskjaer in, we've got the right man in, he's enjoying, playing under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is Paul Pogba, now we can see the best of him. Of course, we're hopeful somewhere online, we can come to an agreement of getting Paul Pogba a new contract at Manchester United as well. So that would be very, very ideal indeed, because his current deal does end in 2021, as we all know as well. So hopefully somewhere online, we can come to an agreement to get Paul Pogba a new contract. I don't think negotiations have started yet, to be quite honest with you as well. So anyway, guys, I think, Jadon Sancho, the player Manchester United should sign this summer. I also think we should try and go in for Koulibaly or Rafael Varane, to address our defensive deficiencies as well. And, so, Joe Felix, he's a player that reportedly, I've watched Joe Felix, a couple of times as well, and he seems a pretty decent player as well. That Benfica, youngster, I've been updating you on a regular basis as well. But we'll see what happens. But, we've got to get the right players in the summer. Solskjaer, obviously, wants to buy into our history. He's obviously now in the process of rebuilding this Manchester United team, even though over the years, since Ferguson left, a lot of money's been spent on this team. Of course, well, players have come in and players have left, but Solskjaer, will want to spend some money this summer, of course, as well. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes, below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as